guest speaker today from Ohio State University, and we have a very interesting conversation today, how to apply to U.S. MBA programs. So this is very important, and I'm glad that we have a professional who will cover some information for us and help us get the answers. All right, Brad, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, and thank you for all who are attending this webinar today. My name is Brad Grants, and I'm the Assistant Director for MBA Recruiting and Admissions at the Fisher College of Business at The Ohio State University here in the United States. If you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and type them in the chat box throughout the presentation. I will take time at the end of the presentation to answer any of the questions that you've typed. And then I'll read the questions out loud so everyone can hear them. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. Like I said, my name is Brad Grants. I'm the Assistant Director of MBA Recruiting and Admissions here at the Fisher College of Business. I serve on the admissions committee, so I review applications all throughout the year. And the point of today is I really want to help give you an understanding of my employer, the Ohio State University, but really I want to help you understand what the admissions committee is looking for in applications, what the application process looks like here in the United States for those who want to either obtain an MBA or a specialized master's in business. But first things first, I work for the Ohio State University. The Ohio State University is located in the state of Ohio, which is in the Midwest region of the United States. The Ohio State University is also located in Columbus, Ohio, which is the capital city of Ohio. And it's the 15th largest city in the United States. It's a very young, very vibrant city, a growing and thriving city. And it is home to the Ohio State University, which is one of the largest universities in the United States. And inside of this large university is the Fisher College of Business, which is composed of its own little miniature campus inside of a big campus. And the Fisher College of Business is home to our executive MBA programs, our full-time MBA programs, our evening MBA programs, as well as our specialized master's programs and our undergraduate business programs. So hopefully you're thinking about attending business school, and that's why you're on this webinar today. And I want to help you through the process. And the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to set some clear goals. You really want to have a clear understanding of why you want to pursue a graduate degree. What are you hoping to gain from this? And so I always tell people to think about, what do you want to do 5 minutes after you graduate, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years, and so forth. So you really want to think about your short-term goals and your long-term goals, and see if the MBA or if a business degree is something that will help you achieve those goals in your life. So hopefully you've already started this process. Hopefully you've started to ask yourself, why do you want a degree? There's a lot of reasons for wanting to pursue an MBA or pursue a graduate level degree, but you really want to have a clear understanding of what you're hoping to gain from it. Some really good reasons for wanting to get an advanced degree in business is perhaps personal development and growth. Hopefully you're thinking about maybe getting a competitive edge over other applicants for your dream jobs. And you're hoping that those dream jobs are better employment opportunities where an advanced degree in business will actually help you obtain that position. So maybe you've done so much research and you've already identified your dream company or your dream position, and you've noticed that having an MBA or having a master's degree in business is a requirement for that job. And then obviously, I think a lot of people are trying to improve on their current salary, the current state of their income. And so if you're going to make an investment in an advanced degree, hopefully you're thinking that it's going to lead to a return on investment by way of a better salary. But there are some constraints that you should definitely start to think about now. There is, I've yet to find an MBA program that can be completed in a weekend. So there is a certain element of time that it takes to complete an advanced degree, especially with full-time programs. You need to understand that you're going to be kind of hitting the pause button on your career. So a lot of people, when they think about cost of an MBA or cost of, say, like a specialized master's in finance or something like that, really they only focus sometimes on the cost, the sticker price, if you will, the amount of the tuition, the cost of living, the books. But you also have to factor in and consider the fact that you're actually hitting a pause button on your career. So that's 2 years of salary in some cases that you're not going to be paid. And so that's also an additional cost. You should really think long and hard about the availability of programs. If you're going to attend a university or attend a school, you want to make sure that it has the exact program that you need to achieve your personal and professional goals. And then you should also really pay attention to the location. I think the location, especially at a graduate level, is incredibly important, even more so probably than an undergraduate degree, because like a lot of people when they go for their undergrad, you can pretty much get caught up in the bubble that is the campus. And you can, a lot of undergrads spend the majority of their time on campus, whereas in a graduate program, a lot of the work, a lot of the projects, a lot of the activities are actually held off campus. That you're using the resources of your city, you're using the resources of the companies that are located in and around your state. And so you want to really focus on a location that's going to help you professionally, but also a place that you're going to be willing to and want to call home for 2 years. So the next step is you really want to figure out what is the right plan for you. If you're thinking about an advanced, a graduate level business degree, there's typically two routes. There's the specialized, and then there's the MBA. And they're very, very different, and I want to try to give you a better idea of the differences between the two so you can figure out which degree path is probably going to be best for you. I'll start with the specialized master's programs. Specialized master's programs dive very deep into one specific topic. They learn very, very technical skills. Typically, these programs are a little bit shorter and they don't require quite as much work experience as an MBA. Really, when you think about a specialized master's, so a specialized master's in accounting, in finance, in human resources, HR, what you really should think about and focus on and take away from this presentation is a specialized master's is for those who want to be the subject matter expert for their company. They want to be the subject matter expert in a specific discipline. So I want to be the go-to finance person. I want to be the go-to HR person, the go-to accountant person. That is what a specialized master's is for. On the other end, there's the MBA, and the MBA deals with studying business in a much wider breadth of content. The MBA is essentially a leadership degree. The MBA is for those who have ever sat down and looked up themselves in the mirror and realized, I want to lead people. I want to manage people. I want to manage organizations, initiatives, projects. So an MBA is really for those who want to be a leader and a manager of people. And so that is why the majority of the program is focused on learning managerial skills and really getting an understanding of all facets of business. And so whereas in the specialized master's programs, you're going to focus on one specific area of business, the MBA is going to cover a large, a variety of disciplines. So you're going to learn about marketing. You're going to learn about supply chain and operations and international business and accounting and finance. You don't necessarily need to be a subject matter expert in finance, but if you're leading a company, you need to understand what's occurring with finances and so forth. So research your options. This is a great opportunity for you, regardless of where you're at in the process of your research as far as attending graduate school. But start your research. There's a plethora of options available to you, both online and probably in your community. I think an easy way to start is to just look at published rankings. You can go online and search up, U.S. News Report, Fortune, Business Week, Bloomberg, Poets and Quants. There's a variety of resources available online just to give you an idea of the variety of schools that are out there. And then once you've started to kind of gather maybe a short list of schools that you might be interested in, I really recommend that you go to their websites. Go to their websites and learn about the university in depth. Learn about the city, learn about the programs that are available. Continue to search on educational websites, talk with your professors, talk with business professionals that are that you either work with or that are friends of friends or friends of family members. reach out to alumni in your area that may have attended one of these schools. And then, of course, definitely spend some time at the Education USA offices. So get prepared. I'm a very big lister, putting things down on paper, but you want to start this checklist early. And while you're still in college, you have a great opportunity to do this. So for those of you who are on the webinar tonight, if you're still in college, these are the things that I would really recommend you focus on right now. And that is, first and foremost, concentrate on keeping your grades up. One of the things that every single admissions committee will do when evaluating an applicant is they're going to measure your academic aptitude. And one of the things that you can't really go back in time to change is your GPA. So while you're still in school, strive to get good grades so you can demonstrate that you're a strong student. This is also a great opportunity for you to get involved in school and extracurricular activities. Most graduate level programs really like to see this because a lot of our students are extremely involved in not only the community, but also school activities. So seeing that someone did this during undergrad is really going to paint, is really going to paint the picture of a good fit. This is also a great time for you to register for your standardized tests. Most business graduate programs are going to require either the GMAT or the GRE, and this is a great time while you're still sort of in a study mode to go ahead and register and take that standardized test. For most schools, those test scores are good for 5 years. So whether or not you're thinking about going to school in 1, 2, 3, or 4 years, the test that you register and study for now will still probably be good when you apply. And then this is also a great time while the professors know your face, they know your name, they're going to remember your contributions in the classroom. This is a great opportunity for you to request letters of recommendation from your professors. If you are out of college, you can't go back in time to change your GPA, as I mentioned, but what you can do is you can start reviewing your academic transcripts. You want to do this to identify any shortcomings so that you can explain them to the admissions committee. Maybe you got sick one semester. Maybe there was issues with your family one semester, and that is why maybe one semester you had a bad grade or a series of bad grades. You just want to really understand your academic transcripts. You want to be able to tell that story to the admissions committee. This is also a time, if you're out of college, to start seeking out leadership opportunities and getting involved in your community, especially for the MBA. Like I said earlier, the MBA is essentially a leadership degree. Really, this is an opportunity for you to get involved in your community or involved in your company that you're working for and try to seek out leadership opportunities to demonstrate your leadership capabilities, but also your potential for future leadership after you graduate from a graduate level program. You also will have to, just like as if you were in college, register to take the standardized tests. This is one of those things where I recommend getting started on that as early as possible, especially if you've been out of school for a while. It's going to take a little while to get back into study mode. So you're going to want to register for the test, begin studying. I typically recommend 6 to 8 weeks of studying before taking your first test. This is also a time where you're going to have to start reaching out to not only professors, but employers and seeking letters of recommendation. And really, when it comes to the letters of recommendation, I recommend that you really take your time with the recommenders and explain your short-term and long-term goals. A powerful letter of recommendation is a letter of recommendation that clearly can make an argument that pursuing an advanced degree is the most logical step for you at this time in your life. And then again, with regards to reviewing your academic transcripts, make sure you order them as early as possible. You're sort of at the mercy of the school to have them sent out to us and then sent to you. So you wanna give them as much time as possible so your application review isn't held up because we haven't received your transcripts yet. So continue do your research. I recommend doing your research first and foremost through the admissions office of the schools that you're interested in. Once you've identified some schools or some programs that you're interested in, really reach out to the admissions office, reach out to the current students and then the alumni or recent graduates of that program to get a feel for the university, for the community, for the culture there, and for the programs that are available to you. Great ways of reaching out to a school or to an admissions committee are through webinars. If you are ever in the area of the school that you're interested in, you should attend some information sessions and try to interact with the members of the admissions committee. I really recommend you spend some time reading admission blogs and student blogs on the school's websites. This is a great opportunity for you to kind of get an idea of what's going on a daily basis. We work a lot on our admissions blogs, and we have our students, my graduate ambassadors, on their student blogs. And the idea is just to kind of paint a picture and give you an idea of what we're doing this week, what we're doing next week, what we're excited about for next month, just to give you an idea and a feel for what it would be like for you to be a student here. And then obviously visit some discussion forums and business school blogs. There's a lot of them online, Beat the GMAT, Poets and Quants, MBA.com, things of that nature. I recommend just going on them and talking with other people who are going through this process like yourself. And so I'm going to talk briefly about the Fisher graduate programs here at The Ohio State University. Every school is a little bit different, so I'm going to speak about ours, and then I'll try to illustrate the similarities between our program and other programs and maybe where we're a little bit different. But again, continue to do your research and understand that every school operates and does things a little bit differently. So our first program is to discuss is the Specialized Masters of Accounting. We're very proud of the fact that it's ranked in the top 10 in the United States. The thing that you'll notice most about the Masters of Accounting that's a little unique is that almost 80% of the curriculum consists of electives. So what this means is it's really a customized program towards you and your interests, whereas almost 80% of the curriculum, you get to hand select what courses that you're going to take, what are interesting to you. Like all of our programs, you'll have a personal career consultant. They are members of the career management office, and they work with you from orientation to graduation. Their goal is really to help you maximize and tap into your potential so that you can hopefully tap into that potential and earn the dream job of your life. Also, the Masters of Accounting program will help you fulfill your 150 credit hour requirement for the CPA exam. This is a shorter program than the MBA and the HR program. This is only 9 months, so one academic year. And the required standardized test for the Masters of Accounting is the GMAT exam. The other specialized master program the other specialized master's program that's 9 months long is the Specialized Masters in Finance. This curriculum prepares you for the CFA, and really the focus of the program is to expose you to real companies through financial projects. So the overwhelming majority of the program is project-based, and it's working and interacting with real companies to conduct these projects. And it's also, like with all of our programs, you are provided a personal career consultant. And again, like I mentioned, it's a 9-month-long program. And this program requires the GMAT or the GRE, so you're free to submit both or either exam of your choosing. And our last specialized master's program is our Master of Human Resources Management, so HR. It's a generalist focus. It does have an internship as part of the curriculum, so in between year 1 and year 2 that summer, you are required to participate in an internship. Like all of our programs, you'll have your own personal career consultant helping you and guiding you through your job search. Like I said, the program is 2 years long. It requires the GMAT or the GRE. But one unique feature about our HR program is that the courses are actually held in the evening. So a lot of our students take advantage of the fact that their days are free and so that they can actually work during the day. But your HR courses will be held from 6 o'clock to 9:30 in the evenings. And then there's the full-time MBA. This is probably the degree program that you are most familiar with, or maybe are exposed to the most information on. This is really an opportunity with the full-time MBA to really just submerge and immerse yourself in MBA studies. There are a lot of methods to obtain an MBA. The full-time experience is just that. It's an experience and a way for you to really be involved in business and MBA studies 24/7. It provides foundational knowledge that's critical for all business leaders. And what that means is you're going to get exposed to a curriculum that provides information and training that is needed for all leaders, regardless of what industry that they want to go into. There's internship and study abroad opportunities during the summer after your first year The overwhelming majority of our students take advantage of that. And the core curriculum, one unique feature of our program is that your first year is focused on the core curriculum, which is um, uh, again, it covers a variety of disciplines like marketing and finance and accounting and leadership and operations and supply chain. What you're able to do during your second year is actually use your remaining credits to specialize or major in a specific discipline. So you're sort of getting the best of both worlds. You're getting a very wide breadth of knowledge in a variety of business disciplines, but then you're also getting 1 year focused on one specific area, such as marketing or operations, nonprofit management, entrepreneurship, healthcare management, as well as a variety of others. The length of the program is 2 years, so it's about 22 months, so 2 academic years. And then we require the GMAT or the GRE. We're probably most familiar with the GMAT as it's an exam that was designed for business schools. So it's certainly an exam that we're most familiar with, but you are allowed to submit either the GMAT or the GRE. And so our application process is very similar to most schools. And so this part of the presentation will actually be really helpful for you when applying to a variety of schools, as our systems are pretty similar. As a member of the admissions committee, whenever we receive an application, we really break down the candidacy of an applicant into three separate areas, and that's academic aptitude, professional experience, and your personal presence. These are the three things that we focus on and evaluate and discuss when determining whether or not someone would be a good fit for our program. And I'll kind of dive into these three areas specifically right now. So first and foremost, the very first thing that we do with every single application as a member of the committee, we sit down and we want to assess the candidate's academic aptitude. And what we're trying to figure out first and foremost is, can this person handle the rigor of a graduate level business program? We need to be confident that you're going to be able to handle the work, the academic workload, so that you can participate and enjoy all of the other aspects of an MBA program or a specialized business program. So we have 2 to 3 components that we can use to evaluate your academic aptitude, and that's your academic transcripts. The academic transcripts tell us what kind of student you were when you were in undergrad. How well did you do in certain subject matters versus other subjects. So we're going to not only just look at your overall GPA, but we're going to look and see how you did or how you fared in certain classes. And what we're looking for classes that resemble the type of coursework that you'll do in a graduate business level program. And so hopefully you did well in those types of courses. We're also going to look at your GMAT or your GRE score. This tells us kind of where you are academically right this very second, because this is probably something that you took pretty close to when you're applying. But what it also tells us is, it tells us how good of a standardized test taker you are. It lets us know if you have strong analytical or reasoning skills, because both of those exams test and study for that. And then finally, the TOEFL score for our international students, because our program is taught in English and because our program relies so heavily on group work and interacting with companies and corporations, we need to make sure that you have a strong understanding of the English language. So regarding the academic transcripts, as I mentioned earlier, make sure you order them early so that your application review isn't delayed. And again, as you can see, we don't just look at your overall GPA score. We're really going to look at each individual class that you took and really see if there are patterns of types of courses that you struggled with or types of courses that you excelled with. And then with regards to the GMAT and the GRE, you'll notice that the subjects covered, or the sections covered, are relatively similar, with the GMAT adding an integrated reasoning section. The IR section is supposed to most closely resemble the type of courses or the type of problems that you'll face in an MBA program. Again, the GMAT, as I mentioned earlier, it's probably the preferred exam of most schools, just because, again, it was an exam that was designed specifically for business schools. And then the TOEFL or the IELTS, you are free to submit. And then we're going to not only look at your overall TOEFL score, but we want to see how you scored in each individual section. I'll tell you right now, typically, most schools like to see, with regards to the TOEFL, a score of 100 or higher. That's typically what we're looking for. So the second component of every applicant that we look at is we want to understand your professional experience. Again, a lot of the programs, like an MBA program, require professional experience, and so we're going to evaluate your resume as well as your letters of recommendation. And what we're looking for here is we're looking for a natural and steady career progression. We're also trying to find out or determine if you have had any leadership positions, and if not, if there's something in your resume or within your letters of recommendation that explains to us that you have great potential for leadership. And that's really what we're looking for. We also want to understand what you did prior to coming to grad school, so we can get a better idea of what your post-MBA employment outlook would look like as well. So the resume is probably one of the areas that I get asked the most questions on. And this is also one area that I want to note that every school is very different with regards to how they want to see a resume be sent in on the application. So I'll first explain that here in the United States, most resume rules, if you're applying for a job, is you want to keep your resume to about 1 page, and you wouldn't typically list information of maybe activities and things that you did in undergrad or maybe even in the community. It's very much a professional resume designed specifically to your professional experience. So at the Fisher College of Business, we actually encourage you to include as much information as you feel is necessary on your resume. So if your resume is 3 pages to 10 pages, however long it is, we want you to include anything that is relevant information. So if you had leadership activities in your community, or maybe you participated in certain activities in undergrad, if all of that makes sense to why you're applying for an MBA or a specialized master's program, then feel free to include it. I've seen resumes. Just this morning I had a resume that was 7 pages long, and it really helped me understand where this person was coming from professionally. And so, again, understand that we at Fisher we'll take any length of resume, but some other schools that you might be looking at, they may have a resume length requirement. So be sure to look into that. Letters of recommendation are an incredibly useful component of the application for myself and the other members of the admissions committee. Your entire application is essentially your voice. And so the letters of recommendation is a great opportunity for us to hear from someone else that knows you. And they oftentimes can highlight things that you didn't know or aren't able to highlight about yourself in your application in some way. So letters of recommendation are incredibly important. I really, really, really want to encourage you to seek out letters of recommendation from professional references if you're applying for the MBA programs. Really, frontline supervisors, managers, people you've worked closely with are the best letters of recommendation. We're not necessarily looking for letters of recommendation from someone with the biggest or the highest title in your company, because if they've only worked with you for a day, or if they barely know you, it's not going to be a very strong letter of recommendation. What we're looking for is we're really looking for people who can speak about your accomplishments and can really speak about your potential post-MBA or post-graduate level program. And then the third component of an application is going to be your personal presence. We are going to evaluate your essays as well as a supplemental statement, and then hopefully if you're invited for an interview, And what we're trying to get an idea here is, can you clearly communicate what your short-term and long-term goals are? Can you clearly communicate why you need an MBA? Why do you want an MBA? Why is this important to you? Why now? We really are trying to understand your story a little bit. And so as you can probably imagine, a lot of our applications are very similar. A lot of our applications have similar test scores, similar GPAs, similar work experience, but really the essays in the interview is a great opportunity for you to really distinguish yourself and separate yourself from the other applicants. And so we have 2 essays that are required, and then there's also a video essay that is optional. That's on our application. please pay attention to the admissions tip. Have multiple people review your essays, one for grammar as well as one for content. Make sure that you're answering the question that the school is asking. Nothing ruins an amazing, engaging, interesting essay more than typos and grammatical errors. So really have multiple people double check for you and make sure that you're representing the best version of yourself on paper. And then the video essay, you'll see the word next to it. It is optional. Here is a big admissions tip. If you are applying to a school and they give you an opportunity to do a video essay, please take advantage of that. Not every single application is guaranteed an interview. And so being able to take advantage of a video essay is an opportunity for you to directly speak to the admissions committee. It's going to put you right in our office as we're evaluating your application. It's going to add a voice to your application. It's going to add such a rich component to your application that it's really beneficial to you. So if you're ever applying to a school and they have a video essay as an option, always take advantage of it. Continuing with personal presence, if your application is reviewed and you are invited for an interview, this is a great opportunity for you to really separate yourself from other applicants. Don't assume that whoever is interviewing you, don't assume that they've read your application file. As a member of an admissions committee, we don't read every single, I don't read every single application file. We talk about every single applicant, but I rely on some of my team members to explain the individual file to me before we start evaluating it. So please feel free to talk about information that is in your application. And then also, don't be afraid to show a little professional charisma. Really what the purpose of the interview is we're trying to get an idea of whether or not you're a good fit for the program, if you're going to be comfortable here, if we can see you as someone who is going to give to Fisher as much as take from Fisher. And so really the interview is a great opportunity for you to tell your story and make a personal connection. Typically with interviews, there is the in-person and then the video option. Here at Fisher, we always encourage and prefer an in-person interview. However, we also understand that due to geographical and work restrictions, a video option or an alumni option of someone that's in your area might unfortunately have to be the next best bet. So you're not penalized for doing a video interview. You're not penalized for doing an alumni interview. We just prefer that you can do an in-person one here at the Fisher College of Business. So the process for applicants is very similar at Fisher as it is at a lot of different schools. And so what happens is we wait to receive a 100% completed application before reviewing it. So once we have all of the components of a completed application, one of three things will happen after we review it. We'll either deny you admission, we'll place you on the wait list, or we'll invite you for an interview. If you're invited for an interview, after we interview you, one of three things will happen. We'll deny you admission, place you on the wait list, or offer you a seat in the class. If you are waitlisted, typically what will happen from there is you'll either be invited for an interview or you'll be denied admission. And then if you're waitlisted after the interview, again, one of two things will happen. Eventually, you'll either be denied admission or admitted into the program. For Fisher, from the application complete process to the interview process, we typically have a turnaround of about 4 to 6 weeks. So once you've completed your application, you'll hear from us within about 4 to 6 weeks. If you are given an interview invite, you'll typically get an admission decision within 2 to 3 weeks after the interview. At Fisher, we review our wait list about every 2 to 3 weeks and then make decisions. So you'll either remain on the wait list, be denied admission, or admitted. And so this is another area where schools definitely differ. We have application deadlines, but we do not review applications by rounds. And what that means is we're on a rolling basis. And so what that means is we review applications first come, first serve, essentially. So the earlier you apply, the earlier you'll get a decision. We review applications as they come in rather than waiting for a specific date to review all of the applications all at once. And so our deadlines are really focused. Each deadline has a specific deadline attached to it for a variety of reasons. And you can see the October and November deadlines have already passed. But the December 15th deadline is the recommended deadline for anyone who is interested in getting merit-based awards or financial aid. The February 15th deadline is if you are admitted and if you've applied before February 15th and you're admitted, you are able to come to Columbus and attend our Red Carpet Weekend, which is our admitted student weekend in the first weekend of April. And then our final application deadline is April 15th. Again, as with all aspects of the application and the entire admissions process, try to apply as early as possible. The earlier the better, especially for international students. So there are financial aid opportunities. What would happen is once you're recommended for admission, you would go into what's called financial review, and this is where you would have to be able to submit a bank statement showing that you have the ability to cover the cost of attendance, and then this would actually provide proof of sufficient funds, which will result in your visa being issued to you. So there's two types of aid. There's need-based aid, and then there's merit-based aid. Please take note for MBA programs and for international graduate students and for graduate level business programs, the overwhelming majority of aid is based off of merit, not need. And so how do we measure that merit to determine who gets what and how much money does each individual get and things of that nature? Essentially, we're going to look at all of the different components of your application, and we're going to compare your application to all the other the other students that we've admitted into the program. We're going to compare and contrast, and the most competitive applicants receive the most funding. And then one thing to note is down at the bottom of the page is that here at Fisher, there is not a separate application process for receiving merit-based funds. We review all applicants, and your applications are automatically considered for merit-based awards. So there isn't a separate application process. And so the different types of financial aid are, we have university fellowships as well as department level fellowships and scholarships. We have positions which result in tuition reduction and monthly stipends, and those positions are graduate assistantships as well as teaching assistantships. And then, of course, there are always loans as well. Questions. So thank you so much. First and foremost, I just want to thank everyone for attending the presentation today. Hopefully this cleared up some questions or any confusion that you've had regarding the application and admissions process for United States business schools. I am more than willing to answer any questions that you have. It doesn't look like any have been typed in yet, but I certainly want to give everyone an opportunity to type in any questions. And I'll also put out my contact information. If you feel more comfortable emailing me directly, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. But most importantly, thank you so much for taking the time to learn a little bit about Fisher College of Business as well as all the business school opportunities available to you.